Week 3 is over. Week 4 is upon us. Some players rise, some fall. So before Sunday, we need wide receiver rankings for Week 4 of the 2024 NFL season. Welcome to E&M Fantasy Football, where I combine industry-leading data, Vegas sportsbooks, and expert analysis to provide you with optimal weekly rankings for the utmost accuracy when setting your weekly lineups in your fantasy football league. I'm writing this on Wednesday night for Thursday's video. Expect more videos every week for the other unit groupings like running back, quarterback, and tight end. Click the playlist in the top right for all the rankings for Week 4. To start off, the top 40 wide receivers for Week 4, full PPR, we have CeeDee Lamb, Rashee Rice, Jay Jettas, Jamar Chase, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. These guys are the only ones slated by sportsbooks to go for 80 yards. They are your top 5 wide receivers for Week 4, undisputed. A tier begins with the other elite wide receivers. Vegas has these wideouts projected for about 70 yards each. At 6, Nico Collins versus the Jaguars, 72 over-under. He could easily finish as the top receiver this week. He gets the 30th worst secondary with the Jags, who give up a monstrous 252 yards per contest to receivers. Absolute smash spot. Malik Neighbors versus Dallas with a 70 over-under. He gets to face Dallas at home. He'll get Trevon Diggs in this matchup, but I don't really care because he is wide receiver 1 through 3 weeks in air yards and target share. Incoming. Mike Evans at 8. We'll go Chris Godwin. At 9 for the back-to-back. They face Philly, whose league average against the pass. Evans is projected 67, while Godwin's is projected 61. Either could exceed this, however, long as Baker can deliver. Olave at 10. They're at Atlanta with a 71 over-under for Chris Olave. ATL's ranked 11th against the pass. His projection's good. My only concern is we'll just have to see how this offense functions with the loss of their center, Eric McCoy. Adams at 11 versus Cleveland, 65 over-under. Adams has only had 1 game for 100 yards this so far. The Browns are league average against the pass. I think he'll get his 65 yards. And for the last guy in this tier, ErvinandM.com. ErvinandM.com is my company my best friend and I started in 2020. We literally make everything ourselves by hand. We have earrings, rings, necklaces, bracelets, tie clips, apparel, and more. Over a dozen curated gemstones and 100 handcrafted products. If you need a gift or something special for yourself, use the promo code in the description, find something you love, and buy it today. Back to the video. We begin the B tier with more starters, but with some nuances, capping their ceiling around 60 yards. At 12, Marvin Harrison Jr. will start the tier for us in a smash spot versus the Commanders. His total is 62, but the over looks nice considering Washington is 31st in the league when trying to stop the pass, and it's the highest scoring game of the week with a total of 50 points. Oh boy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Lock him in. DK Metcalf at 13. They're at Detroit, 63 over-under. His matchup has a great total at 47 points. It's the 3rd highest game total of the week. Geno should have to throw the ball all over the field as he tries to keep up with Lions and Detroit. Should be fine. Deontay Johnson at 14. Hear me out. Get ready for this, okay? This matchup with the Bengals is set to be the 2nd highest scoring game of the week. It's set at 48 points, and his line is set at 62 receiving. Take the over. Dalton is going to have to keep up with Burrow in a shootout. 15, Terry McLaurin. He's at Arizona, 62 over under. He's on the other side of the ball in the highest scoring game of the week. Look, lock Scary Terry in. Jaden Daniels looks incredible. He's going to need Terry if they want to beat the Cardinals. 16, Brandon Ayuk versus New England, 62 over under. At 10-point favorites, you can expect San Fran to get right here at home versus New England. Ayuk is good at football. We just need to see the rust shaken off if he wants to go higher next week. Drake London at 17 versus New Orleans, 62 over under. He's been heating up more and more each week, but has only surpassed 60 yards once this season. I am a bit concerned with the divisional matchup, but he's at home. Should be fine. Amari Cooper at 18. They're at Las Vegas, 58 over under. This is where things start to get a little dicey. Cooper had a great week, but listen to this. With 9, 8, and 12 targets in the first 3 weeks, but only 113 yards total. Quarterback play continues to influence his floor and volatility for the worse. DJ Moore at 19. He faces the Rams, 59 over under. Like Cooper, Moore has gotten nearly 10 targets a game, but averaged only 56 yards per game. The quarterback play is looking up, however, but his over-under sounds exactly like what we should expect. C tier, boom or bust. These wideouts are high volatility. Vegas has this group for roughly 50 yards. It's getting dicey. Garrett Wilson at 20 versus Denver, 58 over under. Broncos travel to the Jets. Wilson has to sort out the number 2 defense against the pass. They only allow 133 receiving yards per contest. Surtain is scary. Zay Flowers versus Buffalo. Put him at 21 this week. His over-under is at 50 yards. Bills have a top 10 secondary. Zay's only had more than 40 yards in 1 out of 3 games. I'm concerned that he struggles to get his 50 here. Jaden Reed versus Minnesota. We put him at 22. It's a 47 over-under. Look, Ian Rappaport claims Love has a very good chance to play this week. That's his quote. If that's the case, he shoots up to the top of B tier. If not, he stays right here. At 23, JSN. They're at Detroit, 50 over-under. To reiterate, it's the 3rd highest game of the week. He's only had 1 contest thus far where he went over 40 yards. I don't know. Stephon Diggs at 24 versus the Jaguars, 53 over-under. 12 targets in his last game and 94 yards, but like these other guys, that's his only contest over 37 yards. Tyreek Hill at 25. Oh my. He faces Tennessee, 62 over-under. I put him this low in spite of his over-under. It's pretty much the worst case scenario for Hill and company. To make things worse, the Titans are currently the 3rd best team defending the pass. Not great. T. Higgins at 26. They're at Carolina, 55 over-under for Higgins. He's only had 1 contest this season, 3 receptions for 39 yards. It's okay, but he's going to stay low until we have more data. George Pickens at 27. They're at the Colts, 50 over-under. He's averaged 57 yards per contest this season. I think he can go over. Temper expectations with Austin seeing an uptick in target share. Brings us to the D tier. We're officially concerned. These guys are your last viable options, projected for 40 to 50 yards. They're startable, but you don't feel good about it. Jameson Williams versus Seattle. At 28, he has a 43 over-under. Arizona held Williams to 9 yards. But aside from that contest, he had 79 and 121 yards respectively. He needs to hit, though, to rise. We'll see if Seattle's secondary is for real. They're pretty highly rated, but they've faced the worst teams. At 29, Tank Dell versus the Jaguars once again. 49 over under for Dell. He's on the injury report. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. He's had 2 contests of about 50 yards and 1 contest with -3 yards. So it's kind of a coin toss with this loaded receiving core. While Nico claimed the wide receiver 1 spot, it's worth mentioning Diggs or Dell could finish in the B tier. And if you wanted to put him behind Diggs at 26, I think that's fair. And Brian Thomas Jr. at 30. And we'll go back to back with Christian Kirk at 31. It's a 47 over-under for both Thomas and Kirk. Only 1 contest over 50 yards this season for both wideouts. And the Jags are somehow getting worse. I don't know what else to say. MPJ at 32 versus Pittsburgh. 45 over-under. This brings me great pain personally. Pittman has been perhaps the biggest bust of the year. Between A-Rich's accuracy and nearly 0 RPOs, it's worst case scenario for fantasy managers when it comes to MPJ. Khalil Shakur at 33. They're at Baltimore. 47 over-under for Khalil. Shakur's got the best chances to hit his over-under facing the league's worst pass defense in the Ravens in this tier. Shockingly, the Ravens are 32nd in the league. That being said, he's only went over 55 yards once this season. Calvin Ridley at 34. They're at Miami. 48 over-under for Calvin. The Titans are set to upset Miami. However, the line has flipped since yesterday with the Titans underdogs by 1 point now. The total is 36 points. Any other team would be set to demolish the Dolphins, but we're talking about the Mayo Titans. And Juwan Jennings at 35 versus New England, 42 over-under. Look, with the injuries and performance, he's on the radar. But thinking he's going to repeat the best wideout showing of the year and his all-time career showing couldn't be more unlikely. It's just the honest truth. Last tier, it's RIP, borderline unstartable players, pure desperation. I hope you're not here. Darnell Mooney at 36 versus New Orleans, 41 over-under. He's looked great for the first time in his career. He's averaged 77 yards in his past 2 contests. I'd like to see another week before launching him up, but he's done pretty good. Rashid Shaheed at 37. They're at Atlanta, 43 over-under. 80 yards with 3 receptions or 0 receptions and 0 yards. That's pretty much the roll of the dice with Rashid Shaheed. 38. Jaden Waddle versus Tennessee, 41 over-under. 30 yards with not Tua, 100 yards with Tua. Honestly, I would take the lower than 41 yards. Not good. Not good. Poor Dolphins. Xavier Worthy at 39. They're at the Chargers. It's a 38 over-under for Xavier. 2 games with 17 yards. 1 game with 47 yards. Only 2 receptions per each contest. I don't know what the Chiefs are doing. Hopefully they get him more involved. Seriously. And Rome Odunze at 40. They face the Rams, 35 over-under. 11 yards, 33 yards, and 112 yards. 11 targets is promising in his last game, but would I take the over on 35 yards? Probably not. We need a few weeks to see how Williams and company sort out the offense. It is what it is. I'll put the top 40 on the screen for now. I sincerely hope this helps everyone watching. Comment below what you think of this week's rankings. Is your team wrecked? Are you 3-0? Let me know. Thank you for your time, and if you want to support the channel so I can keep making videos like these, subscribe and turn on post notifications so you can see all the videos each week before submitting your lineups. It's free, so it's a good value. And if you want to support me, support you, check out my store at www.ervinandm.com. I have 2 passions, fantasy football and small business. We're a 2-man show at E&M. We take pride in the quality and craftsmanship of our products. There's no better way to support me than by buying a gift or something special from yourself from our store. Everything is handcrafted from limited stock here in North Carolina by us, by our hands. Me and him, me and my partner, we do everything ourselves. We ship anywhere in the US. Don't forget to use the promo code in the description. Thanks again if you're still with me. That's the video. See you in the comments in the next video.